Hello and welcome to the channel. In this video we'll be taking a scenic drive through the Teide National Park. We will visit the Visitor Centre and stop at some of the most impressive viewpoints along the way, discovering the unique volcanic landscapes that make this area so special. So if you would like to experience a taste of what the Teide National Park has to offer, come along with us as we explore this remarkable corner of Tenerife. Here we are at the stepped pyramids of Guimar, and we spent a lovely few hours here. The full video review of this attraction is on the channel. Next, we're off to the Teide National Park. The mountain tops are covered in low cloud, so this is going to be an interesting drive. Well, so far, so good. We've turned the heater on as it's turned a little cool. The road to this point has been lovely. Very nice tarmac, no potholes. Quite wide, a little bit twisty, but not too bad. We've only been driving a few minutes and already we've climbed up quite a way, up the TF 523. So far the visibility in front of us is fine, but we can't see very much into the valley. There are barriers at the side, which is quite reassuring. And so far we've not encountered any traffic. It's a shame it's a cloudy day really, as I'm sure that the views into the valley below would have been lovely. Here we go. We've been driving 15 minutes. It's starting to drizzle and the cloud ahead appears to be thickening. And it's getting even thicker. We're going very slowly. We're advised here that 70 kilometres an hour is our limit. Don't worry, we're not even close. Forest on both sides now. Spooky. At last, we're above the clouds. We've been driving for 40 minutes and I'd say 30 minutes of that was driving very, very slowly in quite challenging conditions. The cloud below us is obscuring the view unfortunately, but right ahead is Mount Teide. My husband Howard and myself have been through this volcanic landscape previously, but we're looking forward to showing our friends Jackie and Martin, who are first-time visitors to Tenerife. Here we are and we're still climbing upwards. And here's our first glimpse of the observatory. Suddenly the sides of the roads are beginning to look quite volcanic. And around this corner we are just beneath the observatory. And here we are at the Portillo Visitor Centre. The journey from the stepped pyramids at Guimar should take 56 minutes according to Google Maps. Because of the poor visibility, the journey actually took us 1 hour and 15 minutes. The visitor centre and this toilet block are built below ground level. That way the buildings don't impinge on the landscape and it's lovely and cool down here. There are lots of hand basins and toilets, all modern and clean, with plenty of hand soap and toilet paper. There is also a large and well-equipped accessible toilets and baby changing area. On our right is the path to the botanical garden. On the left is the path down to the free visitors centre. Filming is not allowed inside, but photography is. The staff are lovely and helpful, and they will hand you a free map of the Teide National Park. As well as the map, there's lots of handy information on there. Upon entry, we descended to the basement via a simulated lava tube, into the room where we learn all about volcanology. There's lots of information, mainly on TV screens, and interactive displays, like this one, where you can compare the weights of different types of volcanic rock. Then we go upstairs via this cleverly decorated stairwell. On the upper floor, there's lots of information about the flora and fauna of the national park. There is also a 72C auditorium, which screens a presentation about the park on a loop. Unfortunately, it's almost time for the centre to close, so we missed that. The visitor centre is open from 9 AM until 4 PM. However, the 4-acre botanical garden at the side is open 24 hours a day. There are easy walking paths winding through native plants that are unique to the Teide National Park, but as it was getting late in the day and it was quite warm, rather than explore the whole garden, I just walked up to the top of the ridge to take in the views. As we continue through the Teide National Park, the landscape becomes more dramatic with every mile. Covering around 19,000 hectares, it's the largest and oldest of the Canary Islands national parks and has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 2007. The park is dominated by Mount Teide, Spain's highest peak at 3,750 metres above sea level. Mount Teide is an active volcano, although it hasn't erupted for around 1200 years. The most recent volcanic eruption in this area was 1909, when the nearby Chinchero volcano erupted. This landscape of lava flows, volcanic cones and spectacular rock formations seem almost otherworldly and a striking contrast to the beaches and resorts along Tenerife's coastline. Here the road feels narrower, although I'm sure it isn't, with the jagged rocks of the lava flow looming high above us on one side and a sheer drop on the other. Just 10 minutes drive from the visitor centre is this nice little pull-in at the Minas de San José. Translated into English, this means the Mines of St. Joseph. We are around 2,100 metres above sea level here. The air is noticeably thinner and temperatures can be several degrees cooler than on the coast. For many years this was an active pumice mine, with a lightweight pumice quarried for use in construction and as an abrasive before mining came to an end after the area became a protected part of the Teide National Park. Thanks to the high altitude here, exceptionally clear air and very little light pollution, this is also one of Tenerife's finest stargazing locations. Apparently, on a clear night, the Milky Way stretches brilliantly across the sky, attracting astronomers and photographers from around the world. And I really must get around to seeing that at some point. There are lots of excursions that can take you into the Teide National Park for stargazing, and some even include a meal. There is a QR code on the screen, and I will leave a link in the description to those booking sites. And if you have been on one of those, please let me know in the comments what you thought about it. And from the rock formations I can see on the horizon, I can see that we're just around the corner from our first Mirador, or viewpoint. Here we are at the Mirador El Tabernal Negro, standing at around 2,360 metres above sea level. The name comes from the word tabana, the sharp cutting tools made by Tenerife's indigenous Guanche people. These tools were crafted from obsidian, a natural volcanic glass found within the surrounding lava flows. Obsidian fractures to produce an incredibly sharp edge, so sharp that specially made obsidian blades are still used today for some highly specialised surgical procedures. It's easy to imagine why the Guanches valued this remarkable material. Long before metal tools arrived on the island, obsidian provided them with knives, spear points and other essential cutting implements. We only spent around 5 minutes here as it was very, very windy. Just 4 minutes drive from the viewpoint is the turning for the Mount Teide Cable Car. The base station sits at an altitude of 2,356 metres above sea level, and in less than 8 minutes the cable car climbs to the upper station at 3,555 metres. Timed tickets are booked online in advance. The QR code on screen and link in the description are to the booking sites. At the top you can explore the marked trails, but if you wish to continue all the way to the summit you'll need a separate permit, which also must be arranged in advance. We decided not to book as we were spending the morning in Guimar and we couldn't guarantee that we would be here at the specified time. We saw lots of this lovely yellow flicksweed along the route, and in the past we have seen lizards, but this time no birds or critters to be seen, unfortunately. Our next stop was to be the Roques de García, home to some of the most iconic and photographed rock formations in the Teide National Park. Unfortunately, the car park and access road were completely full. We hadn't seen that many people up until now. This is where they all were. We arrived at 4:30. Rather than wait for a space, we continued a little further along the road, where we were still able to enjoy views of the rocks and Mount Teide. If you are planning to stop here, it's worth arriving very early in the morning, as this is one of the busiest locations in the national park. You'll find toilets, an information point, and the start of a 3.6 kilometre Roques de García circular walking trail, which takes around 2 hours to complete. There is also a cafe and a restaurant. It's a 12-minute drive, from the Roques de García to our next stop at the Mirador de las Narices del Teide, which means the nostrils of Teide. The name comes from the two volcanic vents on the slopes of Pico Viejo, which resembles nostrils in the side of the volcano. Pico Viejo is Tenerife's second highest volcanic peak after Mount Teide, reaching an impressive 3,135 metres above sea level. From here we could see the dramatic lava fields created during the 1798 eruption, which lasted for almost 100 days, leaving behind a rugged black landscape. We're nearly at the Mirador at the eastern end of the national park and almost at the end of the video. We've had a lovely couple of hours in the national park. It's free to enter and there's a nice visitor centre at the western end. Once inside the park, the roads are wide, level, with no steep sections, making it a very easy drive. There are a few laybys as well, so you can get out, stretch your legs and admire the view. We've had a very pleasant afternoon here. If you're planning a trip to Tenerife, check out the other attraction reviews on the channel. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like, leave a comment to let me know what you thought, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future videos. Thanks for watching.